Well, there was the case that got a little bit of media attention in Western Australia
Yep.
of and I think that they were an immigrant
Yes, they were. They were.
and
Mm.
their child was struggling to fit into new school, etc. Daughter,
Yep.
I think it was again, spending a lot of time online. Suddenly was identifying as a boy. They refused to um, agree because there
Mm.
was just no history of
Yep.
anything that you would even liken to gender dysphoria.
Yep.
And then child services, whatever it's called in Western Australia, took removed.
Removed her from their care, and
Yeah,
broke broke the family up. And it's happened in Australia, it's happened in European countries, it's happened in Canada. So
in
it's
Canada, there was the case of the father who was going through a divorce with his wife, I
yep,
believe, and so this
yep.
issue became kind of a real point of in the middle of this divorce. And because he refused to affirm his daughter, he was eventually put in prison for a little
Yes,
bit of
he
time
was.
because he
Yep.
wouldn't
There's
acknowledge
actually
his
several
gender.
quite high profile cases. So that was one of them. And then there was another one that that man's also still fighting, a very high profile case. So quite a few of them. And also the case in Sydney, Re-Imogen, where the mother tried to stop the father putting the son on estrogen, and she lost that case despite the history of domestic violence on behalf of the father, the violence toward the mother and the children. And that was all swept under the carpet. Also, swept under the carpet was the fact that he had illegally imported the estrogen from overseas and started to administer it without the permission of the mother, which is legally required for under 18. So he did all these terrible things. It's all written up. I've read the testimony of the case, and yet still, she lost that case, and
So
it's
where
it's just
where is like so where did your daughter go to get the hormones? Is it just a normal GP or
no. Well, it was the pediatric endocrinologist at our local hospital.
so it's just making an appointment and going, or you're getting referred?
Well, she was referred by hospital staff. Mm. But now, much to my horror, they have opened a child gender clinic in my hometown.
And so how do you have in your research, have you looked into how what like the ages of some of the children that are being referred to these clinics slash hospital hormone givers?
Honestly, I think they can start in primary school. And I definitely know the one in our hometown caters it for young adults into their 20s. It's horrific, absolutely horrific.
I know one of the things I've had a look at is how many gender clinics, like there was maybe one in all of Australia slash one per state, anyway, not even standalone places, even 5 years ago. And suddenly, like just in Sydney alone, for example, there's so many of them.
I
Um,
know, and now GPs can just write the script anyway.
so that can happen now. So a
Yep,
GP,
one of the mums I'm talking to, her daughter gets the script from the GP.
and is it covered by Medicare?
I do think it is. Yes, yes, subsidised. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so there's a little bit of out of pocket payment, but it's also being
Probably not very much.
much.
Mm.
No. So when like because so just recently that this has been really put on the national stage because of Kathy's tweets being found out about it. And one of the things that she has been sort of dragged through the mud for is saying that children and teens are being sterilized and mutilated. And this is being treated in the Australian press as a completely unfounded claim.
But it's not unfounded, because if you put a child on puberty blockers, block their puberty, and put them straight onto whatever cross opposite sex hormone is applicable, they will end up with no they'll be sterile. I mean, for a young boy to be put on puberty blockers and then estrogen, well, his penis doesn't grow, um, and they definitely end up sterile. I mean, after several years of testosterone, the uterus tends to shrivel up basically and atrophy. And so that causes such severe pain that a hysterectomy is necessary because of the atrophied uterus that causes such, yeah, hideous problems that a hysterectomy is inevitable. And so you clearly can't bear children then when you've had a hysterectomy. So the sterility is actually, yes, quite a definite thing that will happen.